Well, guys, it's time for Sunday Money Quarantine Edition. We are here with Lauren Fox, Corey LaJoy, and Kelly LaJoy and Levi. And Alexa, our lovely producer, here to make sure we don't get in too much trouble. And I want to start by saying our sponsor. Let's see. Oh, yeah, presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts, also brought to you by Hercules Tires. I didn't know if there was going to be a new sponsor this week. I just
we always have a sponsor. That's why we have to keep doing this show in the privacy of our own households.
Boy, you had a baby during a pandemic. Tell us what it's like.
Everything is this, NASCAR,
I started reading
ebooks, babies. Now we don't have Sunday Money. We have Sunday Bitcoin. That's what we are now. We are an internet Zoom show. So
Kelly, dating a race car driver is hard business, but when race car drivers are not driving, they are difficult. True or false?
True.
Yeah, it's hard. You guys, that's what you know.
You become a chef. It's okay.
Yeah, I've been cooking. Yeah, I made beef and broccoli, like Asian beef and broccoli in a crock pot last night. I made the chili that you recommended, which was still good. Some steaks and other man stuff. The most dangerous thing all week has been our neighbor brought us over a coffee cake, and it is delicious. So every night I get about this much of the coffee cake and put it in the microwave, put vanilla ice cream on it, and go to town. So I'm working on my dad bod.
All the pounds I'm losing are going to Corey's stomach.
You're quarantine 15. That's what I'm working on.
I'm probably pretty close to quarantine 15 as we speak.
Oh. Yeah, my shirt says chubbies. That's what I'm going to be after all this is over.
I may or may not have tried a little bit of breast milk in my coffee this morning too.
Kelly,
they say it's good for everything. They told me to put it on his scratches on his face.
Right.
Just fix it all up there. Kelly, how is new motherhood treating you? Everybody's been asking how's mom doing?
Tired.
Last night.
That's all.
Yeah, last night with him sucked.
He wanted to party all night long.
Wide awake.
Anytime he didn't have the binky in, he cried like his dad.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And I'm smiling because it's true.
Yeah, he's going to sleep all day and then be ready to party it.
Dance all night.
That's what they do.
Kelly, the text message we got was that Corey was up all night with the baby. Can you confirm?
That's not
true. But he took the morning shift so I could go back to bed.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
It's worked out to where I take the 4:30 and the 7:30 a.m. and I'll just come down here at like 5 and then put him in his little Mamaroo chair that goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll feed him and then sleep here. That way he's not making little baby noises and crying and letting her sleep some. So
Corey, are you breastfeeding him?
Are
you breastfeeding him?
Yeah, for whatever reason, he's still really hungry after he gets done with me. He enjoys it with her way more.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought both parents were supposed to be breastfeed.
You did show him his first NASCAR sanctioned race. True or false?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he loved it. He is a gamer now. He's already asked me when we can get the iRacing rig up and going. So I'm probably going to have to update all my tracks and cars today for him so he can start going. So that's what we're going to be what we're doing here in the next 10 years is just iRacing. Who needs the real thing anymore when everybody just takes the fake thing just as much as the real thing?
Yeah, you better quit paying attention to your baby and hop on iRacing. Otherwise, you're not going to have a job here in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah. Please bring that up, Daryl or Lauren, since y'all read on that.
Daryl, come on.
Okay, well.
Hang on. Let me preface. I was all my tweets during it were very positive, supportive because they were. Like the broadcast was great. Mike Joy and Jeff Gordon were picking fun at it like they should be because it's a video game. And all right.
Okay. So Well, also in your explanation, please let everybody know why you were not part of it, because I did see you got that question 100,000 times. Where were you? Why weren't you racing? We'll get to that. But Jeff Gluck, a good friend of ours, shout out Jeff Gluck in your quarantine state, said, was Virtual Homestead a good race? 27,000 people weighed in. 93% said, yes, it was a good race. 7% said,
I was one of the yes. I voted yes.
Oh, good. Good.
Because it was a good race.
Lauren, did you vote yes? Alexa, did you vote yes? No, I didn't vote either. Sorry, Jeff. 7% said no, this was not a good race. The first comment, Corey LaJoy. It helps when you can lower the realistic effects of dirty air and give everybody 2 brand new cars to smash up. Take the floor.
Well, yeah. So I was texting Jeff back and forth yesterday. Like, I don't know why everybody got so upset about that, because if we are measuring what is considered a good race or not by the same, I don't know.
Right. Are you measuring it up against a real race?
You are not, but the fans do, because the fans can't differentiate the difference between iRacing and real racing. The majority of them, the good ones, the people who do their due diligence and understand that it's a video game, then there's real life, know the difference. But the fans on there are so sensitive, the ones that support it, myself included. I support it. I think iRacing is great. And it was a good race. You got Dale Jr. and Denny Hamlin fighting for the win. But you also have to take into account when we go back to Homestead later this year, they're going to be comparing it to the iRacing race. That's all that's going to happen. And that's bad for us, because the problem is you can't go into the settings, iRacing, host account, and lower, let's just take their dirty air off, but let's keep the draft on. Of course that's going to make a good race. And that's what NASCAR tries to do. So in a roundabout way, I was trying to stick up for NASCAR and the product that we have in real life versus what we have, versus what we can, I guess, manipulate via iRacing. I thought it was a great broadcast. It was a great race. It was entertaining to watch, actually, with all the people that were being interviewed and all that sort of stuff, and seeing Jimmy Johnson struggle was just funny, because I probably wouldn't be much better than that. That just goes to show that the guys who spend hours and hours and hours and hours and hours doing iRacing are going to be more competitive than the guys that don't. And if you look at – go ahead.
Well, Corey, Garrett Gobble wants to know, you got to find out why our boy Corey is whining so much about this iRacing that everyone else is loving. Is he not good at it? Is he mad he didn't get invited to the fake race? Is the baby crying rubbing off on him? He sounds more like a baby. That's what Garrett said. And before you comment on that, Dale Jr. was the first one to say, hey, it's going to be okay. He put a little GIF up basically saying,
he's giving me the same GIF twice. The first tweet he put that GIF to was a tweet that I said, if I see one more post-race interview from somebody that was in the race on my feed, I'm going to lose it. Because every Tom, Dick, and Harry in the race, whether they won the race or finished dead last or didn't even make the show, put up a post-race video. That people don't post post-race videos after the real race. So why are we posting it after a video game? I get it. It was fun. It was. So when it comes to me and iRacing, this is how I've always had a standpoint on it.
He's got a wife with tight reins, doesn't have time.
Right.
Are you leaving, Kelly?
Gotta feed my kid.
All right, come back and see us.
Right
Not
here.
Zoom appropriate.
Are you gonna put him on the pit?
No.
Oh. So,
there goes half our viewers.
Where was I?
You were saying that the post-race interviews pissed you off.
Didn't piss me off. Just the amount of them, because there was double the amount there was for a real race. And we're talking about not even practice. We're talking about video games. I get it. Support it. It was like taking a fire hose and just blasting e-racing down our throats after the race, and the whole day for that matter. So Not that I'm against it. I actually like it. Think it's good for the sport. A little too much content after the race, if you ask me. But when it comes to me and iRacing, I didn't get the invite. Probably because they know I probably wouldn't have signed up because we had a child like 8 days before. 2, I haven't done iRacing very much in general, just because when I go to my basement and spend it, if you worked it out for the viewers that don't have an iRacing account or haven't done it very much, it works out to be about 2 hours per race. So when you look at those numbers, there was a graph of however many races everybody's on an iRacing. There's guys like Timmy Hill and Ty Majeski that's run over 2,000 iRacing races. So if you multiply that by 2, that's a lot of hours in seclusion, not hanging out with your wife, not hanging out with friends, straight up playing iRacing. Which, if that's what they want to do, be my guest. And it's gotten Ty Majeski an actual career. So because he's badass at it, and Timmy Hill does it enough to where he's badass at it too. But
well, Lauren, did you hear what Denny Hamlin had to say?
Don't interrupt me, Daryl.
You got to talk about Denny Hamlin.
I'm getting there.
Okay.
I will tie all this up in a nice, pretty bow, and then get yelled at from the brass from NASCAR. Anytime I'm down there racing, whatever it is on iRacing, I just feel like it's, for me, not for anybody else, but for me, it's selfish, and it's taking away time that I could be spending with my wife and now child. There's just other things. We can be going to a movie. We can be hanging out. And you still got me? Okay. There's just other things I'd rather be doing, building relationships, hanging out with my friends, than racing video games in my basement. That's where I'm at. And I also don't want to put the time in. Again, my point of view, those guys were spending 6-7 hours a day getting ready for that iRacing event for days, maybe weeks. Bobby Labonte did 1,000 laps of practice. 1,000 at a 32-second lap. That's a lot of time with the breaks in between. You do the math. I just don't want to really put the time in because I like hanging out with my wife. I like now hanging out with my kid, breastfeeding it and changing it. It seems like every 20 minutes. So I just don't have time to do it. So I might get into it later, but in this stage of my life right now, I just don't have time for it. And I'm going to watch it because it's interesting. I just hope that people keep engaging with it. I think that obviously a lot of people tuned in, myself included, because it's new and it's different. And it's the only thing on television right now besides Tiger King, which is badass, by the way. You should watch it. Back to Denny Hamlin. So I don't know why he took it as an insult as well, because he commented to my tweet about was it a good race or not, with when you can turn the effects dirty air down and you can give two cars to smash up, you're going to get a good race. He chimed in, well, we've been hearing for years how bad your cars are. Why don't you give it a shot? Started a little bit of a riff between me and Dennis. So I said, I forgot what I said. Maybe like I wanted to hang out with my kid or something. I don't like, oh yeah, my kid took up all my racing practice, my iRacing practice time, which he did. And then all the nerds chimed in, excuses. And then Landon Castle, my buddy, tweeted some dumb picture of him with his kid in his little front holster on the computer, which he wasn't even racing. So I texted him on the back end like, yo, dude, screw you for heaping it on when you weren't even racing. You're just kidding. You're just kidding these people. And now you just gave more ammunition to start hammering me. Thanks, dude. Which he wasn't racing with his baby carrier. It would be funny if he was. So that's where I'm at. I just want to hang out with my kids and not spend 3 to 5 hours a day in my basement trying to get good at iRacing at this stage of my life. Those guys can have fun. I'll watch it on TV. I'll tweet about it. Then I'll get yelled at by the brass and NASCAR for not being overly joyous by how great this iRacing thing is. But it's good for the sport. It gives people something to watch. And I will leave it at that.
Wow. That was a lot.
I did have questions, though. and Daryl, you brought it up before the show, and I agree completely. We're making this big deal. I'm included in this because I'm part of NASCAR, and I get yelled at whenever I go against the grain on these iRacing kids. And this kid that won whatever it was, 30 grand at Homestead last year. Where were these guys at in this pro invitational race? I thought he's considered a pro. Why can't we get this guy who tweeted that he wants to give Jimmy Johnson lessons and just call him up for a tutorial on how to iRace?
Well, that's why I tuned in. I thought I was going to get to see some names that I'm
iRacers versus the real drivers. I thought that was the whole point. And then we got it was a cup race, which we probably should have had some professional iRacers in there to make it a little better show because those guys couldn't stop wrecking. And I probably would be in those wrecks right with them because it's hard to not wreck on iRacing. I don't know why. I think that they might be working on it, but who knows?
Would that be a huge embarrassment to the sport if unknown, I mean, they're known in the iRacing community, but maybe not to normal fans, shows up and wins the race against these guys?
Probably, yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, right? Like on a normal race weekend, our practice is limited, right? We have 2 1-hour practices. You can only go to the simulator before they made that rule a couple weeks ago, last week, for as long as you wanted to, but everybody got their own block, right? So you can only legitimately practice 5-6 hours at most for the race. These guys, there's no limit on how many practice laps that you can make and how many people think that all the setups are fixed. They are fixed to an extent, but you can change steering boxes. You can change all the settings in your wheel and pedal adjustments. And there's like 100 things that you can change around the actual fixed setup that iRacing gives you to find speed. I was talking to Ryan Priest. He says he worked for 2.5 days on just steering wheel feedback sensor on the numbers there, and it found 2.5 tenths just in wheel settings. So if you don't want to spend the time doing it, you're not going to find that speed on iRacing, because you can literally, if I'm not down there doing it, practicing for Texas this week when they're going down there for the iRacing deal or whatever, there's somebody that is all day long, all day tomorrow, whatever day it is. I don't even know what freaking day it is anymore. Thursday maybe. What day is it right now? Okay. So there's going to be somebody on it for at least 6 hours a day leading up to that race, and I'm not going to do it. I literally want to fire my computer up, update the track in the car because I haven't been on there in 3 months, and I put the quarter in the machine and I start driving. But that's the point in my life I'm at right now. I just don't want to put the time in to iRacing.
Boy, that was a good explanation. That was almost as interesting as watching them play that video game on TV.
It was the in-car cameras.
Lauren, you did not watch it, did you?
I don't think I did. I don't know what I was doing now.
We put it on and Kayla walked in. I put it on and Kayla walked in and said, "Are you watching a video game?" And I was like, "Well, no, it's a race, And she's like, "It's a video game." I'm like, no, but they're racing. It's like the real guys. And she goes, "So you're watching grown-ups play video games?" And I'm like, it's like, it's a thing. And she's like, "Cool." And she just walked away.
My favorite tweet interaction was with Dale. He tweeted that Ken Schrader asked him if everybody was at the same Chuck E. Cheese today for the race, right? They were all racing Chuck E. Cheese and they just broadcasted it. I said, no, to be exact, there was multiple Chuck E. Cheeses, and then they linked them via interweb and they just broadcasted it on live TV. So it was just, yes, it was a bunch of grown men playing video games. And
you're going to get a phone call. You're totally getting a phone call.
I'm getting a phone call. I've already got the phone call. But when I don't know, I don't want to rat on these guys, but there's
Andrew.
I didn't see him.
Where's Andrew? Tell Andrew.
Yeah. What's up, dude? So
watch that thing on Sunday? That race? I don't think we did.
It was a good race, wasn't it?
I watched the end of it, yeah.
Oh.
Andrew, You're not a race car driver and you don't work in NASCAR. Give us your full review. What did you think?
Honestly, I was standing in front of the TV watching the end of that race.
Captivated.
You thought it was cool?
I was sitting up on my couch. I was sitting up hoping Dale Jr. would win. I wasn't laying down. I was up hoping Dale Jr. would win. I was actually hoping Timmy Hill to win first. Then I saw when he didn't have new enough tires, I got a little deflated. But then when Junior came to the lead, I was pretty pumped up.
All right. Andrew liked it. Andrew gives it a thumbs up, guys.
Back to work.
Yeah, go make some money.
Well, I'm supportive of it. I think they should let some of those pro e-racers in because I thought that was the whole point of them getting sponsored by these race teams. And I think that would be really fun to learn some new names. And I don't know. That's what I thought I was watching. So maybe that's my fault for not paying attention better. But I would like to see Corey become an e-racer. I'm in. If we're going to have to stay in our houses till next year, I want to watch Corey compete.
Not me.
You're not into it?
Honestly, if they go to Bristol, I guess Bristol would be after this weekend in Texas. I would put in a little bit of work to get ready for Bristol, just because I like Bristol, and I've been getting bugged enough to do one. I will try my hand at it. If I don't get into much.
Maybe he'll be able to take care of himself next week. So.
Yeah. So he'll at least be. I don't know. He's born on the 11th. I don't even know what day it is anyway. 24th. So it'll be like 3 weeks old. So he should be able to come down there and watch me and hold his bottle and stuff by then, right? Yeah. So we'll see.
In the world, they postponed the Olympics today for a year.
Oh, they did? Really? So I thought they were talking about that. Probably the right decision.
What does that tell you as an athlete that works in professional sports? Pretty crazy, right?
It's crazy. It's crazy time we're living in, man. It's something that I don't think anybody alive right now has obviously had to deal with. And I think that it's unique in the sense of technology. Granted, we're doing a podcast in my living room on a computer that 21 people are going to listen to this week. So that's going to be pretty cool.
There's 4 people right here.
Yeah, so there's 4.
Because no one else has anything else to do.
Maybe. So, yeah, I think that technology's obviously changed, but we just got to get people to stay at home and bend the curve. Because I'm staying at home. I'm not going nowhere.
Are you going to the grocery store, either of you?
I'm going to the grocery store.
Because you can't get any delivery times. I didn't get groceries delivered until like Saturday. I was like, well, I guess I'm going to have to go. Oh, crap.
Now, what's the biggest change to both your normal lives? Like, besides not going to work and stuff, what are you missing in the real world? What are you missing the most? I mean, hibachi, obviously.
Mexican food.
Yeah.
I drove past a Mexican place the other day. I'm like, ooh, man, I miss Mexican food. But I've been getting chips and guac and chips, and I literally eat like a bag a day. You can eat infinite amount of chips and dip and never get. It's like once you go into once it goes through your throat, it's disappeared. It doesn't even go to your stomach. That's why I love chips and salt.
It's healthy.
Yeah. So I miss being able to go to work out, really, because I got some stuff in my garage, and it's sufficient enough to get a sweat in. But going to the gym I go to, Vitality, our 5 p.m. group I like the community of it, like hanging out and seeing everybody. There's about 20, 25 of us in there every time. So I miss those guys. But right now it's not worth it for me to go out and socialize and bring something back, right, to get little man sick. So I'm probably more quarantined than a lot of people, but it's worth it.
What are other drivers saying on your driver only chat?
Honestly, I haven't even looked at it. I'm sure there's lots of Kool-Aid being drunk by 3 or 4 people on there with this stuff yesterday, but I need to go back and look at it. So a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. I haven't actually looked at anything racing besides that video game on Sunday. I haven't really thought a whole lot about it. Just dude, having a kid is a lot of work. It really is, and it sucks a little bit more this week than it did last week when I was talking so great about it because we haven't slept a whole lot. But it's still like you hold that little sucker, and you're like, this is pretty cool. And then he starts crying, and you're like, stop crying. So it's all right. But yeah, I'm a little less rested than I was last week when I was talking so great about him. But it's fun, and I mean, it's just a chapter of life that's different. So luckily, I mean, it sucks to be not get. I assume I'm not getting paid. I haven't talked to Archie yet, but it's been cool not to have to work for 6-8 weeks.
Yeah, you're on paternity leave.
He timed it perfect. Yeah, pretty much paternity leave that everybody else is on forced leave as well. So hopefully everybody's doing okay and staying in and staying safe, and hopefully they can crack open the piggy bank jars and cash them in and make it to the end of this thing.
Right, we're waiting for our stimulus checks.
Yeah, I want to get onto that topic.
Are you following the news, or are you keeping the TV off? Are you staying tuned to everything that's going on? Because there are a lot of changes. I talked to a couple different drivers that I don't want to throw under the bus, but they've been laying off some of their crews and their shops. Not like go home and we'll see what happens. Like, you're laid off.
Yeah, I heard the term furlough
Mm-hmm.
from, and I don't think it's private knowledge. RCR furloughed a lot of their employees. I don't know what that even means. I think it just lays off for a certain period of time with no pay. So that sucks. Obviously, those guys, hopefully they can get it all figured out. But they have a lot of employees, and that's just what it is, man. You get those teams with that size that aren't making any sponsorship income at the time or person income at the time, and those guys take the hit. So hopefully this thing ends pretty soon. Unfortunately, reading everything I've been reading, May 3rd is optimistic to me. It's very optimistic. I hope that we can figure it out and get going at Martinsville. But if we happen to, it would be a surprise to me, and I'll leave it at that.
Well, we're all in North Carolina here, yeah.
Yeah.
And the governor shut down schools till May 15th. Yesterday was nail salons and barbershops and those kind of things till the end of May as well. So all these girls that got their nails done and got to get their hair done, we're going to end up seeing what everybody really looks like. And I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah.
I'm going to come out looking like a different person. My eyebrows are not on fleek anymore.
No.
Bad news.
What is that word, yeet, where they yank something?
Yeet.
I'm not going to shave until we come back racing. So hopefully I don't look like ZZ Top by the time of it. So
I like it. You guys want to take a commercial break and come back? Are we doing commercial breaks?
Sure.
All right, we'll take a commercial break and come back with more Sunday Money. And we're back at Sunday Money. We asked the fans for some questions, and they came through. I'll start. Corey, you have some pulled up too?
I'm working on it.
All right. Gail wants to know, being childless, how is Daryl passing his time? Well, that's a great question, Gail. I mean, I feel like I don't have any free time. I got a lot to do over here. I arranged my spice rack, and I've been there's a walking trail near me, and I've been going on long walks, and everybody keeps to their side of the trail. So I think it's 6 feet. I don't know. So I've been taking long walks every day, and then basically just watching stuff and reading.
Yeah. What are some shows that you've been watching, Daryl? We need
questions. There's the Tiger King is the one that everybody's on right now. I just finished that.
It's so sick.
Corey,
that chick definitely did it.
What happened? What are you doing, bud?
You got me still?
Yeah. So Lauren, it's like if Dog the Bounty Hunter had a baby with like Who? I don't even know. I mean, it's like this crazy guy down in Florida. You know when you're driving?
If Dog the Bounty Hunter had a kid with Elton John.
Yeah. And then that guy wanted to raise tigers on a farm in Oklahoma. That's what this is about.
Oh, no.
What?
Do you see me still?
Yeah, Corey. Where are you going? You got to pee?
No, I was going to – shit.
Corey. You can't say shit or fuck or any of that stuff. We're podcasting. Lauren, I'll talk to you while Corey's learning technology.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
There we go. Got it. Yep, we're back. I wanted to show you guys some of my prized possessions.
Oh.
I need to figure out how to turn the screen around. If not, there you go. So there is the fight picture.
Mm-hmm.
Signed by. Let me try to figure out how to turn this camera around.
Where are you? What space is this in?
This is my house. This is my living room.
So, and you have that on the wall in your living room?
No, this is like in the wall that goes out of my basement. So there's Bobby Allison, signed. Donnie Allison, signed. The only person, and my favorite part of this is this track worker was in a NASCAR club with my grandpa down in Florida. So I'm the only person that has a signed fight copy with the track worker, Jim Nedlin. So I need Cale Yarborough's autograph to finish that up. That would be my. What we got?
You better hurry up.
We have another question from Chris.
Hang on, I'm not done yet.
Oh, okay.
So there's a piston that Roush Yates gave me that we won Pocono with. That's a pretty cool little deal. We're going down the stairs to my cave. There's little Corey. So there was a question, which was my favorite ARCA win. That's the picture from it right there, Pocono, because that's where I met Kelly, my wife.
When you won the race?
Yeah, she was there with a friend. NASCAR Next. Look how that turned out. Good stuff.
Who's in that picture? Who was
It's
it?
backwards. I can't figure out how to turn this thing around. So, Bowman, Daniel, William, Eric, Greg Galding, Bubba, Larson, Awesome Chase from the same place, me in that lime orange fire suit, young Ryan Blaney.
Damn, that's a good class.
Yep. There's pictures on the ceiling of old modifieds and stuff.
Oh, you are my worst nightmare.
There's a stand-up of Dale Jr. in my basement.
Oh, you're on the train, dude.
Yeah. There's some of my trophies that I bought for the yard sales because I've never won anything, if you ask people on Twitter.
Why do you have other trophies in there?
Because I got good deals on yard sales. And there it is. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
That is an iRacing rig. It cost me about, I don't know, $100,000 less than Denny's rig did. So that's good.
What are those some like bowling shoes next to it, or are those your iRacing shoes?
So those are actually a pair of shoes that Ricky Stenhouse donated to Samaritan's Feet, and I figured there wouldn't be any Ethiopian kids weightlifting, so I kept them for myself. There's no barbells in Ethiopia, so I just kept them. Thanks, Ricky.
Okay.
So you just hang out down there, Corey, and just like?
No, I don't hang out here. I don't hang out. I haven't been down here in like 3 weeks. Besides, the only time I come down here is when I come down the stairs and then go out the door to my garage to put the trash out, and then I look at how good I used to be.
Mm-hmm.
This is my first ever go-kart trophy.
That's pretty wimpy.
1997, so I was 6.
Wow.
I was probably 5 because that was like in the summer, and that's about it.
Wow.
Why is there a Dale Jr. stand up? Why is that in your house?
I don't know. Did you see the Randy LaJoy stand up?
Oh boy, people are gonna love this.
Yeah.
Lauren, this could all be in your house if you had married a race car driver.
Oh my God. I made the right decision.
Hang on. This is my.
Wow.
Look at that. That's badass.
Oh, boy.
Good thing we're not sponsored by Miller.
Whatever. I'll find a Miller. And I got this sweet. Daryl, you'll recognize this.
Yeah.
Where was that? Where's that from?
Sideways though.
We had that same photo thing at Fox, right?
No, it's standing straight up. That's where I got it from.
Did they give that to you?
Yeah, I did like the last one before they fired you, I guess, or whatever it was. And they're like, "You want to take this?" And I said, "Hell yeah, I'll take it."
Hell yeah. See, something good came out of all that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
Corey, this has been illuminating.
anybody who's seen the show knows that I have one of the 2 original Rowdy Burns fire suits.
Mm-hmm.
Pull the leg out. Show us.
Ugh.
It's fairly clean.
That's from the movie.
It's from the movie. I'm not going to give you my sources because he might have got it in some illegal ways.
Arrested.
But now I've got
You
papers
sure
are
love racing, huh, buddy?
I'm just a racer through and through, man. And that's about it.
For you through my linen closet, which I organized yesterday.
You want
Corey, show us your fridge. Let's see what you're eating these days.
Yeah, this is like an episode of Cribs.
this? Hopefully the fans are enjoying it.
Or please tell me that we're going to end this by going, you don't have to go home, but you can stay here.
Good.
So that's Corey's life right now. I feel like we're friends since we never get invited over, Lauren. We got to see what's happening.
Yeah, so now you can never say you've been to my house.
Right.
There's our black and white wall.
Why do you have Chad Knaus's initials on your wall?
That's because Chad's the best crew chief to ever do it.
Hell yeah, he is. You want to show us your fridge or your pantry?
Here's our
There I
kitchen.
am.
Wow.
Any bottles.
In all your glory.
Quarantine edition. Here we go.
Look at that breast milk
There's-
storage.
There's the good stuff.
Go, girl.
Oh no.
Oh boy, Lauren, that's a lot of work, right?
Now you're back.
That's better than I ever did.
And then I feel like every crib has to have some Dom Perignon.
Is that for when you win your first race?
Yeah, so that's gonna be aged like a fine wine. No,
That's from our engagement.
dick. The family that Kelly nannied for gave us that. Still haven't. I don't know. We haven't opened yet. We might just make mimosas today because it's Wednesday or whatever day.
Corey, can I get to some of these questions because they were so nice enough to submit them?
Sure.
With no racing to watch, I was looking back at the Daytona race and how most wrecks happen 3/4 of the way back on the backstretch. Can you ask Corey if there's a blind spot for spotters and if that's where the big runs tend to catch the cars in front?
That's a great question. Let me hook you back up to my base. I've always said, you see the majority of crashes on speedways because 2 things. I'll just hold it. 2 things. There's no banking, right? So all you can see in front of you is a spoiler directly in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So you can't see 1 car up, 2 cars up. You're literally looking directly at the car in front of you. So when those guys are throwing blocks at the front of the field, start piling up, you don't have time to see it happen and get on the brakes. That's why you see people piling in. And 2, essentially the spotters are looking directly this way, so they can't tell the distance between if somebody's in the high groove or the low groove. All they can say is, where they are forward or back. They can't tell on the track high or low. So that's a combination. You can't see as a driver. That is where the runs are coming because people get like formulated at a 2 and they get big runs. So that's why cautions happen late in the straightaway at Daytona, Talladega.
Put your camera back on. You're making me dizzy.
I know. It's like,
Lauren, you're missing the craziness.
Sorry, I'm reading an email.
Okay, Corey, are teams getting any direction from NASCAR, what they can and can't do privately to prep for the season? Also, Daryl, why haven't you told anyone I told you so yet, since you were the first person in NASCAR that seemed to understand what was going on with COVID-19?
You're an alarmist, Daryl.
Huh?
You're an alarmist.
Yeah, you're
I'm
the
an
guy.
alarmist. Hey, listen, I've been following it since fucking January, and I wish I didn't know as much as I do know about it because it's awful. But
Oh, your Twitter knowledge?
yes, all my Twitter doctors, Lauren. No, I actually called my own doctor. I have a couple of friends that are doctors, and I called them in January because I
OBGYNs don't count, Daryl.
Huh?
OBGYNs don't count as doctors.
That's a witch doctor.
Well, you know, a lot of decent doctors are pretty well read and well informed, and I reached out and just said, hey, what's going on with this? And they pretty much shot me straight, and that was January like 20th, you know. So I hope it passes sooner than later because that would be great for everybody. And then for the other question was what?
The economy doesn't tank and we all still have jobs.
The economy's already tanked, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's what she was talking about.
We're in bad shape. Corey, are you getting any direction from NASCAR on what you can and can't do to prep for the rest of the season?
No. They made that rule that you couldn't run the OEM simulators. They've also voluntold everybody that they would like everybody to run iRacing, apparently, which I'll get on it, but eventually, maybe.
What was your favorite K&N ARCA race? You already told us that, right?
Yeah, he told us.
Yeah. If Corey, Lauren, and Daryl aren't drawing a paycheck from the podcast.
Let me elaborate on that question.
Oh, you're gonna win?
Yeah. So, can you grab that picture?
Maybe because I met my wife there.
That's what I said. Can you grab that picture? Because it's nice.
Sure can.
Pocono, we had to start dead last because it rained out qualifying. And it was the first race since like 1968 in ARCA that went green to checkered. So I started last in a race with Eric Jones, Chase Elliott. I don't know if Ryan Blaney was in there. I think he was. And we won. This is a picture of Victory Lane. That is Kelly.
Wait, so you just met Kelly and you had her in Victory Lane?
I essentially met her. So would you like me to get into that whole story? It's a long one on how we met.
Well, what else do we have to do?
Yeah, right. I'll listen to your notebook love story.
Kelly, you tell us.
No, I want to eat my oatmeal.
She wants to eat her oats.
Oh, good. That'll make you lactate real good.
That's what I heard. You got a big bowl.
So Andy Murstein, the taxi cab guy that owns like 2/3 of Petty Motorsports. I was a Petty Motorsports development driver at the time. One of his favorite bars to go to, Kelly's roommate at the time, Aaron, was a bottle waitress at this particular bar. Andy was talking about how he owns a race team. She should get some friends and go. So she comes home, asks Kelly,
if I want to go to a NASCAR race.
and then you said
no, because I'm from Pocono and nobody goes back to Pocono voluntarily. And she wanted to go with a stranger in a private helicopter to Pocono and die.
So that's where she stood. So then a couple weeks go by, day of the race comes. She was going to go by herself, right? Kelly didn't let her go.
Everybody bailed on her.
Oh, there's Poppy. So everybody bailed on her. So Kelly rounded up some friends, and 4 of them came with Andy Murstein. So Andy Murstein was showing him around because he's the rich guy with the 4 hot chicks following him. Introduces me to them real quick before the race. Ends up winning the race.
Tell them what your dad said to me.
So my dad, no, this will surprise nobody. Kelly was wearing sunglasses, like, down here. And Dad says, when I grow up, I want to be that pair of sunglasses. And now his daughter-in-law, the mother of his grandchild. So win the race. Andy brings them all in the victory lane. We get this one picture I didn't even know her name or any other 4 names at that point in time. I was happy to win the race. And then on the way back, we drove back from Pocono. So on Facebook.
You didn't take the helicopter with Kelly?
They went back to New York City. So she messaged me on Facebook, hey, good to meet you. Here's my number if you ever want to talk, whatever.
Wait, that's not Kelly. Kelly didn't do that.
That's not Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
So I texted her for about 10 minutes and realized that I was not into her. So I asked about her dark-haired friend. That one. And then I came up there a couple weeks later. We went to dinner, and we've been doing long distance. We did long distance for about 6-7 months. She transferred to UNC Charlotte, finished up her degree.
And here we are.
And now here we are.
Making babies.
Making babies.
What a story.
Yep.
Hi, Poppy.
She's not awake yet.
Yes, she's wide awake. Yeah, there she is. Hit delete. Hit escape. Hit the escape button. Who does she look like? Does she look like you more so than Andrew?
She looks like my mother.
No.
What?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So what's she like? 6 months now?
7 months.
7 months.
She's crawling. She started crawling in the last few weeks.
Dang.
Now she stands up on everything and constantly falls down and bonks her head and then cries a lot. Right? Yeah.
She seems happy.
Handled it.
Any more decent questions, Daryl?
Yeah, we got a bunch of questions. I'm glad you asked. All right. Also, here's some more questions. These are ones you probably maybe have heard, Corey, maybe not. I don't know. Corey, when is Corey actually getting invited to the Pro Invitational Series?
You've already asked this question like 3 times.
Well, I know, but maybe somebody's tuning in late. Who knows? What classic races should they replay during the break? What classic races would you like to see on TV?
I watched that Richmond race from 1987 the other day. That was badass. Any of them really, but I found out that I don't have a smart TV. I guess it's an older Vizio, so I can't like mirror screen. But I guess I have a Fire Stick, so I can pull up YouTube videos. But I'd rather just watch shows right now than old races. But old races are badass. Like something up. I love old races like old Bristol, asphalt Bristol, when the cars are on bi-splies and they're sliding around and they're smoking everybody.
Did Corey get together a ride for the Martinsville modified race?
I have not. I had some feelers out there, nothing solid. And the modified teams run so lean that if you don't really have your own car, a team's not gonna be able to put an effort in for a second car. But who knows? I still have some beads out there for that Friday night race. Hopefully we can run. Like I said, that May 3rd date compared to what all the other sporting events are doing right now is optimistic, but I'd love to get back going.
Reggie said, since Corey liked NASCAR 99 so much, who was his favorite driver to race with?
Dale Jarrett in the quality care.
Poppy, would you like to help us pick the clutch performer of the week? We're going to pick – this is very important, Poppy. I need you to pay attention now. The Clutch Performer of the Week is brought to you by Clutch Coffee Bar in Mooresville, North Carolina. You can order Clutch coffee beans online and have them shipped directly to you. Go to Clutch Coffee Bar. Well, that's very important, especially at a time when we're all at home. So who is our Clutch Performer of the Week, guys?
My opinion, the Clutch Coffee Performer of the Week should be Fox because they put that virtual race on TV. They took a risk in a sense putting it on there versus some other stuff that they could have done. So it was cool to see them take a risk and make a jump for the sport in that direction on the esports side. So kudos to NASCAR on Fox.
I think it should be me for pushing out a kid.
You were last week.
Oh, I was?
Yeah.
Every week.
I didn't get to the end of it, I guess.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week.
Tell Kelly that she won our Clutch Performer of the Week last week.
We listened to it together too. Maybe she breezed through that one.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Sorry.
Lauren, how do you feel about Fox being our Clutch Performer of the Week?
Sure. I love it.
Poppy.
I'm not gonna give Denny Hamlin. I'm not gonna give Denny Hamlin the Clutch Performer of the Week. He gives himself enough accolades to begin with.
By the way, social distancing. Why does Denny Hamlin have 16 people at his house? Just putting that out there.
His house is so big, you could have a group of 50 over there and still not even see anybody.
One in each room.
Yeah. So,
Yeah,
they were not social. They were not social distancing, but I guess it was a big day in the Hamlin household.
Corey, do you want to give any advice? People listen to you. Do you want to give any advice to the public? I saw Brian Scott, a former driver, was giving advice today on what they should do. Do you have any advice for people during these times where everyone's going a little crazy, stir crazy?
Do you follow Brian Scott?
On Facebook, we're friends.
I don't. I'm just staying inside, man. That's it.
Stay inside.
I seen Ryan Reynolds. He put up a video. Everybody's like, "Oh, stay inside. It's great." But stay inside.
Good advice.
I have an incentive to stay inside, right? I got a little man to hang out with. But if I would be going stir crazy if I didn't have this kid for sure. Because as much as I'm a homebody, I like being outside and doing stuff, and I like community and talking to people and chopping it up. So this is tough in a way, but we shall get through it. I'll be riding the mountain bike a lot. I did that last week. That was a lot of fun. So I took a big digger. Luckily, I didn't get hurt. Wrecked pretty hard, so I need to get a little more comfortable on that mountain bike so I don't bust my ass again.
Lauren had some advice. She went to the grocery store and had an experience, and I think you should do a PSA, Lauren, so people know what to do at the grocery store.
Yeah, keep a safe distance. Don't get in my bubble.
You have to yell at somebody.
Yeah, she was standing too close.
Breathing on you?
Back off, lady. I should have just started coughing.
You should have. Dry cough would be the worst, too.
What was that, Poppy? Do we want to read any reviews before we go, or you guys want to skip it?
Yeah, Corey, you have all the stickers to send out.
Do I?
I think so.
All right. Well, Leanne sends out my stickers, and she went on a 3-week vacation to the Bahamas.
I want to
So,
be Leanne when I grow up.
They'll get the stickers in a couple weeks. So,
Okay.
I mean, read some reviews though.
What about you? You got a phone?
Yeah, I do. It's in my pocket.
Okay, here we go. This one is from K-Bob. I've been a NASCAR fan most of my life and grew up an Earnhardt Sr., then Junior fan. And after Dale's retirement, well, I found myself without a driver. Sure, I rooted for underdogs like McDowell, Castle, and Bowman before and after the 88, but I didn't have my guy. Well, that changed when I saw Jeff Gluck's tweet a year ago promoting this show. I thought Corey LaJoie, that dude that wadded up the BK racing car every week a couple of seasons back, how that's pretty funny. How does he have a podcast? I gave it a shot and was hooked from episode 1. Easily my #1 podcast above Door Bumper Clear and Dale Jr. Download. Corey gives fantastic insight not only of the realities of a driver on an underfunded team, but also stories from NASCAR as a whole. Daryl came off as a bit of a tool at first, but I've come around, and now I like his banter and different opinions. Something the plywood dumpster. That was not for you, Poppy. That was for that guy. He called me a tool. Don't give the finger, Poppy. Let's see. Something the plywood dumpster fire lacks. Okay, that's a dig at another podcast. We're not doing that during the bad times. It's all positivity here, guys. After getting to know Corey on the show, finding he's a believer and seeing his passion for racing with a purpose, like Samaritan's Feet, I can say Corey is my guy from here on out. Keep digging and run your race with perseverance, bud. It will pay off. I'm praying to the Lord that he continues to use you in a powerful way. Hopefully, it'll be in that 48 car next season. Thank you, 3, for being such an entertainment part of my week. Well, that I take back my flipping you off. That was nice, K-Bob.
That was nice.
Yeah, thanks for the review, K-Bob. I don't know how I'm gonna send stickers to these people without their address. I'll figure that out later. From Joe DeBoard, great racing podcast. This is the best podcast currently on the topic of NASCAR. This podcast offers a wonderful technical, financial, and driver lifestyle insight. Corey's quickly rising up my favorite driver list, while Daryl and Lauren contribute to the fun atmosphere. I began listening on my way to the Roval last year, and since then, this has been my first podcast to listen to every week. Corey, if you were doing a Q&A in the back of the flatbed again, Martinsville, I will be in the crowd. Thanks, Joe DeBoard.
That's so nice. Lil John Harvey, 98. Whether you're doing housework, yard work, or nothing at all, this podcast is just a great listen. I enjoy tuning in each and every week. The only thing I still don't understand is all the hate for Daryl. Oh, thanks, Lil John. Lil John? What?
Lil John?
That was a nice one. Lauren, you going to read some?
Sure, I'll read one. I like this one. It's short and sweet. T-Briggs69 says, great NASCAR insights and honest opinions. I think that guy just wants a sticker.
He just wanted a sticker. We'll take it, though.
I mean, there's just tons. So thank you guys so much for all the nice words. It's appreciated. And we're going to, now that we have technology and we don't have jobs, we can just keep doing this. Thanks to Alexa being willing to hang out with us. And Poppy's a new guest. Maybe we'll be her first word, Corey.
What do I think it's going to be?
Yeah. NASCAR, probably, right?
Yeah. Diet Coke.
Diet Coke. What are you looking at?
Dad.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Dad too.
Well,
we'll
if
wrap
you guys
up
have any topics for us out there in NASCAR.
We got to do the O'Reilly's read, right?
Yeah, you want to do it or you want me to do it?
I can do it.
Go ahead, buddy.
I'm going to read. This is from the heart. This is O'Reilly's bonus points month.
Oh boy.
It's O'Reilly reward. It's reward bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Stop today for store-wide savings. Plus, earn double O rewards points on all sale items, like wiper blades, motor oil, tools, accessories, and even more than that. Not an O Rewards member yet. O Rewards. Why is O?
Forgot to talk after he had a baby.
Sign up today online or in store to take advantage of bonus points month at O'Reilly Auto Parts. It's fast, easy, and free. Hurry! Double points are only available for a limited time. O'Reilly Auto Parts, better people, better prices. People's not in there, but they are good people.
You're going to get us canceled, Corey.
No, that was a good read. People wanted to tune in for that crappy of a read.
Well, Sunday Money's presented by O'Reilly Auto Parts and brought to you by Hercules Tires. And can you introduce yourself, Alexa, since, say hi to everybody?
Hi.
We'll tell them your name because I want to make sure I say it right.
Alexa Henrian.
That is our producer. She keeps us going each week. This was a little bit of a messy show. Our fault, not yours. How do you rate this?
I rate this.
Considering the circumstances, I would say 10 out of 10.
10.
Plus, I didn't have to go into the office, which is a big thumbs up, in my opinion.
Woo!
Hopefully we can do it in person soon, but until then, we will be Zooming.
And guys, I want everybody to know that NASCAR.com is posting a classic race every single day, and they're doing all kinds of fun social content revolving around that race. So if you don't have anything to do, or if you do have stuff to do, NASCAR.com is a fun place to go and find NASCAR content. Okay?
She's trying to get a raise. She's trying to be the first one not to get axed.
Yeah. Please don't fire me.
Don't fire me.
Guys, social distancing, wash your hands, and be safe out there.
Right.
Yeah. Bye.
Okay, this was fun.
Yes, it was.